parents to work tomorrow. They were carrying placards saying that allow our parents to work tomorrow. But
Mm-hmm.
it means that the government is feeling the pressure. So tomorrow, I will urge everyone to be out there. I will be out
Are you
there.
there?
Yes, I will be out there so that we make sure that
I think we're
the
having a
president.
small, kind of like a connection issue, guys. But that's Erickson Odhiambo. He's a Secretary General for Alliance Political Party. Are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So we're urging everyone to come out so that the politicians, the elected representatives, that is the MPs, and the president, the executive, will listen to the voice of the young people, because we are the people who are going to be at the backbone of this country to carry the burdens of the borrowing and everything. And these punitive tax measures are going to affect us more because we are young people. Gen Zs are soon going to be young parents. Millennials are
Mm-hmm.
young parents. So I think the buck stops with the voting in the third reading and the president to say that
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to amend. We reject no amendments. We want to reject this bill.
Right. So that has been the main discussion in regards to this, because the fact that you basically understand that they're gonna parse this thing, and you're saying that what's next after that, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
What's your
I think
take
that
on
would
that?
be
What do you? Mm-hmm.
so. I've seen a conversation on online. I've seen some Gen Zs saying that there's a group of Gen Zs who have started going to meet up with the politicians and everything, and they're sellouts in this course. But
Okay.
I think my advice would be like, this has to be a structured conversation, and
Yeah.
the only thing that can happen with the current situation is that the only thing the Gen Z can do is present petitions and
Mm-hmm.
picket. Then,
Okay.
other than that, I don't think there's something else they can do.
Okay.
So I think they should organize. I think the Gen Zs should organize themselves better
Okay.
and have an organizational structure that can actually, like for instance, I'll give you an example.
All right.
In the last election,
Mm-hmm.
um, 8 million people did not show up to vote.
Okay.
5 million did not bother to register. So that's 13
Wow.
million.
Right.
Yes. So right now, what Gen Zs are trying to do, they are only recognized by the law because they have identity cards, but most of them are not voters. That's a weapon. So even if you want to recall these MPs, you need to weaponize your civil rights by having a vote. We know we have a
Yeah.
problem. IBC is not reconstituted because we have no commissioners. So
Yeah.
my clarion call to Gen Z right now is to make IBC reconstitution an
Mm-hmm.
agenda in the protests, because there's no change. There's no change that's going to come if you cannot use the
Yeah.
mechanisms that are in law in the country. Because in this country called Kenya, you have to vote in an
Mm-hmm.
elected leader by being over 18 years old and taking an ID, then taking a
Mm-hmm.
voter, a voting,
Yeah.
then registering to be a voter. So that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, something else is that this us millennials and the Gen Z, this the whole generation, need to now offer
Mhm.
ourselves for leadership, because we want to remove the status quo. Then who's going to take over the reins of leadership power? Who is going to
Mm.
be in these spaces to speak the language that we want? Who is going to envision what we want? So these
Yeah.
young people who are lawyers, doctors, engineers,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
people with qualifications in different aspects in life have been
Mm-hmm.
for a long time used as flower girls in the political nature of our country. The politicians have been using
What do
the
you
youth.
mean by
Yeah.
flower girls? What do you mean by
So
flower
flower
girls?
girls. So they've been used as political flower girls because even the current president rode on the wave that he's he's pro people, young guys, hustlers. He understands them,
Mm-hmm.
bottom up economic policies that we've seen, it was all a charade. It was him whipping emotions, but it was a
Yeah.
long con game. I'm sorry to say. That's why the pressure has mounted to the point we are in today.
Yeah.
So, so young people now need to realize that they have the numbers, but for a long time they've been having the numbers. We have been having the numbers as young people, but what are we doing with these numbers? 75% of the population is us. But what are we doing with these numbers?
Yeah.
Come 2027,
Mm-hmm.
more Gen Zs will be will have attained the age of 18 years. Okay,
Right.
so what we're
Okay.
saying, so that's a very big voting basket. In the last election,
Mm-hmm.
Ruto got 7.4 million votes. Raila got 7.2. So if
Okay.
this voting bloc had their own candidate, they would have made a president.
Yeah.
But 8 million never showed up to vote. 5 million never registered. You see, so
Mm-hmm.
we need to, as much as we are fighting this fight, we also need to institutionalize everything to be recognized
Okay.
by. Kenya is governed by the Constitution 2010, and it has
Okay.
directives on the Election Act and everything of how to be a voter and how to vote in. We have a whole chapter dedicated to leadership in this country in the Constitution.
Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that's really interesting because I believe in regards to what you've said about every youth right now who's out there, the Gen Zs, as you're saying, if they do not have any motivation to go out and vote in the coming election, I believe in a way it will not actually make a difference because we'll definitely have the same members of parliament that we have right now. But I can also agree with you, but some of them really have the identification card. Some of them really have the card and they can definitely go out and vote in terms of when the 2027 the year comes on, because right now also there are some counties that they're being also, they're kind of trying to impeach the MPs by is it like a million, they need a million signatures
No, so let me take you
to
through that.
impeach the
Okay, so let me take you that. It's called a recall clause. It's called recalling them. Huh? So, as per the law, there was a unanimous landmark ruling the other day by Chacha Muita and other two judges, and they made it a little bit easier by telling the MPs had made this law very hard for them to be recalled. So right now, what you need is first of all to be a registered voter in that area. And then you need to collect 30% of the total votes in that area, and 15% should come from each ward. Then you present a petition and sign it, and the petition acts as a charge sheet. Okay, so what are the grounds for this MP being recalled? Okay, then after that, the process is, after doing all this, then you need to go and lodge the petition with the IBC. Okay, and then also it costs around 30,000 for an MP. You need to raise 30,000, lodge it with the IBC so that they can see if the grounds are met and they can verify the signatures. After that, if the grounds are holding water, then the IBC will set a date for a recall election. So you see, it's very time consuming. It's logistically impossible. Also,
it's not actually the signature. Like it's not all
Sorry?
about just getting the signatures.
No, it's
The
not about the
process to
signatures.
it. Like I'm saying,
The process,
yeah.
it's a process, and it takes around 3 months even for IBC to do the recall, to call for a recall election after going through the documentation. It had judicial bottlenecks, but the judicial bottlenecks have been handled a little bit by the High Court ruling on the Elections Act. So the only bottleneck right now we have is political intimidation, and also like for a normal person, for you to maneuver to collect 30% of signatures in a constituency and make sure that 15% are holding water from each ward is not an easy task. It's not an easy task. So also, just to not, before I forget to mention, is that the Gen Zs right now, they need the millennials. Why? Because the millennials are the ones who voted in the last election, and majority are eligible voters. So only an eligible voter can recall a member of parliament. You cannot. Right now,
Oh,
I voted. Yes, I voted and vied in Makadara constituency. So I can
okay.
I can actually spark a recall clause for the member of parliament for Makadara, but
Mhm.
I can start the petition. I can start collecting signatures. It is valid. But right now, the very good Gen Z, most of them were not eligible voters then, or did
Yeah.
not actually register, so they cannot do this. So they you see, um the clout, what we're saying, we don't want this um good movement to go into a clout that will be forgotten, and the political
Yeah.
class are really watching because they know. You see, even let me take you back to 1992 repeal section 2A of the constitution.
Mhm.
We had the former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga and former Governor Kivuta Kibwana as the frontline people of the civic society. Leave the politicians alone. Even come
Okay.
to the Constitution 2010, we had the good Yash Palgai, we had the Timothy Njoya. There were people who were fighting this
Okay.
front, but they were organized in an organization that has a head. So I agree with whatever is
Okay.
happening right now. There's no supposed leader and the riots are going on. But when it comes to things that can be
Yeah.
recognized by the laws of this land, they need to have an organizational structure.
Mhm. Right. So basically, going back to it, the fact that these are signatory, like going around in regards to impeach an MP, it's only eligible when someone was a former voter in regards to the last election.
In that constituency, also a voter in that constituency. Yeah.
In
So
that
you can't,
constituency, not just.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you can't go. So, like, I can't spark a recall in another. If I spark a recall in another constituency, I will have to find a voter there who voted there to write that petition. I can't do it. So, where you voted, because IBC has
Mm,
all this. Yeah, and right now,
right.
as we speak, we don't have an IBC because you see, after the 2007 election, there was a judge called Johan Kriegler who gave us the
Right.
Kriegler report and said that
Mhm.
IBC should be reconstituted 2 years before an election. The political class conveniently never do that, so because they want this kind of stalemate. Now let me tell you how this happens. Now let's go back to whatever is happening. Even if we initiate a recall, I have initiated a recall class for the member of parliament of my area. Even if I go through and collect the signatures, then they cannot be acted upon because there's no functional IBC. So you see, the political temperatures are really high, but they know there are bottlenecks in the law that will hold these things back. So the demos can go on. They're very good. They remind me of the um, Mohamed Bouazizi in Tunisia in 2010 when he
Okay.
set himself on fire. He was
Right.
he was a fruit vendor and sparked the Arab Spring.
Mhm.
But now, apart
Yeah.
from a few heads of state, the heads rolling, because they didn't have an organizational structure, it died out. So yeah, that's the risk we have with the current movement. Thank you.
I was saying this
That's
is
very good.
there was no Arab
Go
Spring.
ahead.
Arab Spring was created by the CIA. There was no Arab Spring and all that shit. No, CIA created the damn Arab Spring and destabilized all these Arab countries up in the north where they about to start raid Gaddafi. That was all CIA nonsense. But Kenya is actually organic, and that's what scares them. That's why now they're kidnapping people. You see now the kid because these countries were never set up as democracies, fam. You see it. Everybody's went around kidnapping people. He's telling one thing. Oh, I'm so proud about the people coming out protesting the youth. He's been around kidnapping innocent people. So he's doing it on behalf of the IMF and the World Bank. So right now, what he did is a criminal offense. Any government kidnapping his own people is a crime against humanity, punishable at the ICC, at the Hague. But of course, he's not doing that because they're the ones behind it. You know, I don't think
Yeah.
I think this government's gonna have to be toppled. Like you said, it's going to be organized. You see, every system is set up so you can't take a person out of power. You can get a fake selection
Mhm.
to get them in there, but you got to jump through all kind of hoops to get their ass out of power in Africa. You see that? You got to go through all this crazy hoops to get the ass out of power. If you're any kind of democracy, it should be easy to take you out as it is to install your ass. But you got to jump through all these crazy hoops because it's to protect the puppets up there to do the bidding of the white banks to make sure Africa keeps getting fleeced over and over again. But he's right. You must have organization. You know, kids are disorganized, and that's good. To have any kind of meaning way forward, it must be organized. It must have organizational structure on the ground to make a real effect. But like I told you, in Africa, the Posadas come. They're going to come for you. That's why you see kidnapped. I said that when we were on the phone with him last time. I said, hey, they're going to come for you because your countries are autocratic. They're phony democracies. They're not real. They're fake. So now you guys are becoming a threat to power. So that's why you're kidnapping people. They're torturing people in Kenya right now. Open torturing. They're going to torture me for doing a peaceful protest. I'm peacefully protesting. That's my right to ask for my grievances to be addressed. That's my right. I'm asking my grievances to be addressed. But you want to kidnap me and torture me? What kind of democracy is this? It's not.
Right.
It's not. You know, like the shit that's happening with Kagame now down number one. These are all facades. But shout out to the youth. So they're scared. They're scared what's happening now in Africa. It's a scary time. And so I love it. It's going to be a domino effect. It's a domino. And like I told people, this was coming. Everybody calling me now. Keith, you can call. I said, it's coming in Africa. Been around Africa. You can only gaslight the people for so long until you put their backs up against the wall. Like I said, I didn't know what was going to be the spark it, but it's Kenya. Because I knew it was going to be Nigeria, even though Kenya's tribal. Nigeria's too tribal. Nigeria's tribalism is on another level. I said, it ain't going to be them. It needs to be them, but it's not going to be them. They can't get past the tribal shit, and the youth still got that shit. So shout out to Kenya. But you see, it's going to be a domino effect. And you believe he's been called by white people. You better get this shit in order. You better tamp it down. You better, whatever you got to do, torture people, whatever's got to happen. But you better make this shit stop. See, understand this bill is so heinous, family. They're trying to steal back the land that they couldn't steal during the Mau Mau Revolution when the blacks, the Africans, and Kenya taking back the land. Now they're trying to pass it through legislation, give back the land to the corporate powers and shit, and steal the Africans' land. So they come back in another way of colonialism. And their puppets are willing to do it because they put them in power. They're useful idiots. And so he's right. You must organize, start new political movements, and people are going to get murdered. So this is real now. So I had to tell you that. I said that when we was on the last thing with him. I said, they're going to come for you. They're coming. You understand what you're dealing with? You're dealing with white power. White Jewish power. Who actually run the world. Okay? You fucking with real power now. So you must be organized, like you said. Because you're dealing, that's why Kenya's all on every damn newspaper around the world. You think that's an accident? Because Kenya's now become a threat to the robbing and stealing of Africa. So if the youth win, it's going to start a domino effect around Africa. So the youth have to win. That's the scary thing. So it's going to take brave souls. It's going to take brave souls. I told you this is not a game. See, you break it down their religious. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm gonna go get your religion. When you break it down their religion, all their propaganda they gave to you, you just saying no. We don't want to deal with your propaganda. That's dangerous. So, organization, understand, they're gonna come to kill you. Said that. You fucking with Africa's the power of the planet. Go ahead.
And we've also noticed that what you're saying is very, very clear because for the first time, the president has directly addressed the Gen Zs. He actually said he has felt the pressure. He wants to call them to the table and speak to them. But now there's no one he can speak to. And like you said, we agree that our country is being auctioned to IMF and World Bank. They brought this finance bill. This finance bill is pure IMF because they are worried that we are not going to be able to pay back all the money they have given us. And you see, this money was given to us for budgeted corruption. We're not saying we are paying for school fees. You see, there's nothing that is for common good in the society.
Nothing.
All the money we are getting from World Bank is it's bidding, it's doing their business, and the presidents.
And that's on purpose.
Unfortunately,
On purpose. That's
it's
all about Africa.
yeah.
Like
So,
I told you when you read economic stories of an economic hitman, these loans, they put these corrupt regimes in power, give them these fake loans so it would enslave the country, and then they could come extract the real resources out of the country. Because remember, their money is printed from nothing, has no back, it's not back. Nobody killed Gaddafi because he wanted to make a gold dinar and back the resources of Africa with his money. See, the money they use is absolutely worthless. It's just print paper. It's a scam.
Mm-hmm.
So what you see now, right? So what you see now, that the youth will realize, hey, you talking about my birthright, stealing my land and everything else? No, because you got to be fought. So all these politicians are corrupt, and these skates.
Yeah, because on the land aspect, they had now proposed that when you inherit land, now it cannot be freehold. So you see, that's like they want to take it back from all of us, and they also want us to starve. So taking land, that is a factor of production, a big factor of production. Some of the proposals also, like the ones touching on how you can make your lives better, like the eco levy, the solar and lithium batteries were exempt from VAT and was zero exempt from tax. Now they want to tax that because they have seen now a lot of people in Kenya are going for the green energy and they cannot get money through Kenya Power and Lighting Company. So they want to tax it. Those are the things we're talking about. Like they want to take away everything good that can come to this country for you not to be an independent thinker because your mind is in slavery. Yeah.
Everything's designed to make sure Africa never becomes self-sufficient. To make sure that these people have a parasitical relationship. It's evil. It's wicked. And so they want to make sure that continues, that they earn their wealth off African people's backs. And so, it's diabolical. It's really diabolical. And these puppets, and the fact that you find all throughout Africa that they put all these puppets in all these countries, diabolical. But go ahead, you got it.
Yeah. So, like for a country like Kenya, a third world country, we're talking about a budget of 3.9 trillion. So 3.9 trillion is around, 3.9 trillion budget, but they want, this finance bill was supposed to fund around 3.7 billion of the bill, or 37 billion, yeah. So like my friend has said very well here, the rest of the money is from external borrowing and from the World Bank and IMF. Whatever we are being taxed was now what we are raising internally from our GDP. Okay, so that's where the money was coming from, the finance bill. But the rest of the money of the rest of the trillions was going to be borrowed from the IMF and World Bank. Another thing about these punitive taxes is that they were touching the core of the core. What am I talking about here? I'm talking about bread, cooking oil. These are daily needs. Like these are things that Kenyans use daily.
It's punitive.
It's punitive. It is what a normal Kenyan who does not have much has to eat. It is any human being has to eat. So if you go to download to that level, Kenyans, that's why the generation, the Gen Z and the millennials are deciding, no, we are the youths of this country. We are going to have a voice. And I think last time we spoke, we were supposed to start something. I think we should move very fast because now they're trying to break our spirit by abducting people and holding people hostage.
I told you, you're going to have to be careful because you're on the ground there. I'll be happy to help you fund it and we build it. You're going to be careful, man. I told you guys, you're dealing with the real thing now. When we talking, y'all laughed at me. I said they're going to start coming to kill you because now
you're right. It didn't take long, and we're seeing it right now.
No, you're fucking with real power. Understand Africa. Understand what Africa is. You're the wealth of the planet. No matter what you see, the poverty in Africa, that's manufactured. You're the wealth of the planet. So Kenya, It's been one of the main. I told you, your jump off countries are Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa. Troll these countries, you're gonna troll the rest of the African countries. So that's why Kenya is so important. Yeah, whenever you want to start it, but you're gonna have to be careful, man, because they're gonna come for you.
So they want to break our spirit, but we've said no. We're going to march on. Tomorrow we will be on the ground. We'll be on the streets. We have lost 2 people. May God rest their souls in peace. We lost 2 people to police brutality. One of them, Rex, was killed by a bullet to the thigh. The other one was kicked in the balls, and he died receiving medical attention. Wow. So we have lost 2 souls, 2 young gentlemen, 24 years and 23. Very young people, very promising futures.
I think the one they shot, did they refuse medical treatment for him, medical help?
You see, he was shot in the artery. You see how the body makeup is. I'm not a medic, but I know where the artery is. So he was bleeding profusely by the time he was getting medical attention. And you see, also, what you're saying is true. Like in this country, healthcare is shitty. So an emergency like that, most people die.
No, exactly. Every African country is shitty. These puppets never created any health care. The money's been extracted. It's not just Kenya. I've been all throughout Africa. So I'm gonna tell you, when you're talking about Kenya, it's all African countries. It's the same. It's copy and paste. It's copy and paste. All healthcare in Africa is shitty. That's why the puppets fly out of Africa to get their healthcare. Never built any system for their own people.
But what I'm happy is that, like you said, the movement is organic, and what I can say is that this is a vote of no confidence in government.
Exactly.
This is a vote of no confidence. Yeah.
And that's what the scared of. They're trying to put the genie back in the bottle. It can't be put back in the bottle because this is a vote of no confidence. The majority of people don't want you in power. The youth, the millennials and Gen Z are the majority of Kenya and the majority of Africa, period. So this is a vote of no confidence. But that's why it's got to be brutal and try. It's going to get brutal, guys, even more brutal, because you got to show the IMF that he hasn't lost control of the country. Because listen, this is how they do it. They say, well, fuck it, he's probably gone. Let's get rid of him, and let's pretend to fund the opposition and bring in the power and try to corrupt them, keep our shit going. Because that would
also
lead.
You see,
go ahead.
Yes, and also you see what you're saying is true because they had proposed some taxes, and they said that they made amendments, but they sneaked in a road maintenance levy to again make it more expensive. So Kenyans are very woke. I went through the document, the 300 pages of it, and I saw what is happening. I mean, if this goes, if this bill passes by any chance, this country is going to be on its knees, and it's going to be the middle class, the people who work, the youth, who are looking for opportunities, who are going to feel it the most, because everything will be expensive. Yeah, everything will be expensive, from fuel from transportation, and fuel runs the economy because food has to be carried across the country and everything. So once it is touched and it's expensive, then cancer treatment is going to be taxed and it's going to be more expensive. Who does that? Who kills their own people? Who does that? I mean, it's just the lowest we can go.
But the puppets do that. That's insane.
Yeah,
guys, you have a psychopathic class that they put in power in Africa. The psychopaths, as much as the Europeans who put them in power. Like you say, who does that? What humanity do you have?
Yeah.
People can't hardly afford no damn cancer treatment in Africa. Now you're going to tax it? What?
Yeah.
You can't even fathom this kind of wickedness. This is wicked.
Yeah, they're very punitive because also some of the proposals in the bill also are touching on what we call are going to cause capital flight. What am I talking about? Investors are going to run away because the manufacturers are being taxed heavily. So no local manufacturer. So we're going to be dependent on imports. We're already 90% dependent on imports.
I told you, that's the scam. See, the same people that running the damn thing own the manufacturing. See, the whole thing makes sure Africa doesn't develop. See what I told you. You got this from the what it looks like all these people are leaving because they want them to leave because the banks own the goddamn. They own Coca-Cola. They own all these manufacturing companies. They want Africa to stay in a substantive state where they can goddamn dictate policy and you always be importing goods, making them rich. That's what they want. So don't think the people that's leaving, we're leaving because of taxes. They want that to happen.
That is exactly the ploy, like you're saying very well. That is the plan. That is the ploy. We have seen it from afar.
Yeah.
Also, one of the things is like already in Kenya, the Federation of Kenya Employers gave a report and said around 700,000 people lost their jobs from the last finance bill. So we are having a new one. When there's capital flight, there's loss of jobs, and people, young people, are jobless. It's giving crime. Now most of them are turning to crime and drugs. It's killing a generation. So we've said enough is enough. And whatever in this bill, the same bill, they had proposed a lot of taxes also on cameras and things like content creators normally use. Already, we can't find them in the country. Why again hiking the taxes on them? Because they have seen young people have gone to create their own employment, what Tony is doing. Like this, they want to kill that now. I mean, this is because if you cannot afford a camera to broadcast the voice of the people, then they want to, muzzle our voices and everything. So really the bill is, I think tomorrow will be the mother of all protests. Kenyans they have not broken our spirit. We hope that Hanifa and Boniface Mwangi, the ones that were arrested today, and Shadi, who was abducted yesterday night, will be found. But yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Black. You said the truth. They are going to come for us, but we are ready to fight for the cause.
That's a good thing. No, you understand this might take your life, but are you willing to die for? You're willing to die for your future generations? That's what Africa's got to stand. There's going to be life and death because you got to worry about your children, your grandchildren. They need to be the ones that inherit Africa. They need the ones to shake out this colonial rule that these puppets have put you right back into. Africa deserves to be free. It's going to be fight. So what? What are you willing to die for? That's what it is.
Yes.
Oh, you guys got it.
So another thing also is that the political class don't want to see young people who are tribeless coming together with the unity of purpose. They are very afraid of that because as young people, we don't care about tribe and everything. Like you've said, some countries have that. The thousands and millions who are on the streets are young people who don't identify with anything else. They identify with generational.
Once you get rid of tribalism in Africa, family, you win. You got to get rid of that tribal shit. That's why the white man came and emphasized it so much and put the vision that it became completely goddamn apathetical to what you were trying to create. A harmonized society. Tribalism has no place in a nationalist country like Kenya. How the fuck am I Kenyan, but you identify me as a tribe? That's why Nigeria is so fucked up and so backwards, because of the tribal shit. And they'll tell you, it's not me just being hyperbolic. They'll tell you that. They know that they can't come together because the tribal rifts are so deep that when a white man came and put tribe against tribe, it's called divide and conquer, divide and rule. So
you're right, and that's why even they were very, very successful with the Scorched Earth policy during the divide and rule during that time. And you look at the transatlantic slave trade, where mostly West Africans were the ones who were taken for slavery in the United States. I think that's why your ancestors, Mr. Black. So during that time, Americans those slaves who became Americans are the ones who revolutionized America because they didn't identify by tribe. They only identified by black skin.
The tribe was gone. We could not, when they threw us ass all on these boats, enslaved our ass and brothers, we couldn't be tribes no more. We had this African is me, he's me. So we couldn't, that tribal shit had to go because they took that away from us. We couldn't, like my people come out the Congo. I know that by tracing my lineage and my DNA, come out the Congo and Angola region. But we couldn't identify that if we fighting this white man on this shore here. Hey, what tribe he from? They got rid of all that. When we got here, you wasn't a tribe. You was a nigga. You was put to work, and that's it. So we didn't know, hey, what tribe are you from? That was gone. After the second generation, that tribal shit was gone. So as we got free from slavery, from fighting this crap. Don't ever believe this white man freed anybody. You know, these fake stories you get, they decided, they always these fake stories, they decide to stop. No, the African on this continent was fighting this motherfucker. There were wars here. He couldn't enslave us. They would get
actually, you're right, because from I think the senior Obama didn't go. He went to the US to study, but Blood from Kenya gave the US the first ever black president in the world.
Don't talk about Obama. Obama's a plan. Don't talk about Obama. Obama's, I know your mind thing. Obama's fucked up. Don't talk about Obama. I don't even believe the Kenyan story, man. I told you. That's why he grew up in Indonesia under his supposedly stepfather, Lolo Soetoro, who was a hitman for the CIA. Okay? Obama was wealthy. So all the story, that Kenyan story, I believe that's bullshit. That's CIA. His father. No.
His father is from here, ancestrally.
That ain't his father. They went to that's his father. That ain't his father. That ain't his father. He was you understand? The CIA makes backstories. You go search Obama, you find that story is a lie. Obama is a fucking Rothschild. Half of the Jews that run this planet on these banks, he's one of those people through his mama's side. And we don't know who the fuck his father is. Yeah, it gets deep. That's why he didn't do shit. That's why, that was the con to get American blacks and African blacks to vote for this no good bastard so they can keep the robbing and stealing through him. Now, Obama couldn't get elected dog catcher in America because he's already been exposed as a no good bastard he is. That's why at airtime look up who's done more killing of people around the planet. Obama. They gave this motherfucker a peace prize. He's done more killing than anybody. Any U.S. President, Obama's number one in killing innocent men, women, and children. That was a fake story. So when you talk about Obama, look up Lolo Soetoro, the one who raised his ass in Indonesia, not Kenya, Indonesia. One of the wealthiest mans in Indonesia and was a hitman. See, most of you guys don't see, I'm fucking your mind up. Obama was raised by a hitman, a CIA hitman. These are facts. And you go to the Bush family, there's pictures showing little bitty Obama with the Bush family, Bush crime family, who were the presidents of the United States. Little bitty Obama, how's this little motherfucker Kenyan nigga with the Bushes as a 4 and 5-year-old? Those pictures were found because the Bushes are part of the CIA. They're the founding families of the CIA. So understand Obama's a plant. That's why everything he does is wicked. But you guys going to learn that.
So in regards to the Kenyan context, what you're saying is that we are here. We want the pressure to continue. We don't want it to back down. Also,
you just brought something. Oh shit! I didn't think about the Obama angle. They might bring that goopy motherfucker into Kenya. Hey, King Brett, I forgot. Wow,
Kenya.
Yeah. If Obama comes,
that story.
You better discard his ass. He's absolutely a 100% puppet of the ruling class. He's part of the motherfuckers. He's family. His mother's whole story. He's CIA family. So Kenyans, don't let. I didn't think about Obama ass coming up in there. Oh shit! That'd be the brief. Hey, young youth, come together. Let's stop the foolishness. Don't come with that shit. So, I didn't think about Obama ass. Oh man. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think what I can just say to the Gen Zs that are listening is that
exactly right. You have $450 million, not from those so-called kids, daddy. Exactly. Obama inherited $500 million from Lolo Soetoro, the hitman, not from this motherfucking fake motherfucker from Kenya that he tells his daddy. $500 million from the hitman, Lolo Soetoro. Yes, wait. Yes.
Thank you, Jacob, for joining us. We have General Mosquito. We have Reject Finance Bill. Welcome, saying we are ready for Tuesday. Reject Finance Bill, and everybody joining us on TikTok. We appreciate you. We have 5 minutes, guys.
Okay, so I think I'll take the 5. I'll quickly say this is that Mr. Black and the other gentleman, Wharton, we need to really have a conversation because, yeah, it's true that even some of our friends, there's a very senior politician in Kenya called Okiya Tata. We tried hosting him on space on X, and he was being gagged. His microphone was being taken off. So it's true, yeah, they're coming for us, but we need to organize and centrally have a working ways of working so that we don't need to back down from this fight. We are not going to a gunfight with knives.
Exactly.
We are not going to a gunfight. Yes.
Now remember, we want to go off their network. See, so Black Eye Pride doesn't have to be on YouTube. We actually own the network that we're on the TV stations and we're on our own network. So when we do this, we have to be on our own networks, not on YouTube, and get people to come to the network itself and watch what we're doing because we gotta have an autonomy. Because Google's gonna start fucking with the goddamn algorithm, fucking with the channel, taking down the stream. Those same people that fucking with Kenya created Google, guys. They created Google.
The message is reject the finance bill in totality. We don't want it to be amended. We want it to be rejected in total.
That's right. Rejected. All of it. Gone.
So tomorrow you're going there?
Obama. Oh, hey, youth. Obama's no good. He's not your friend. No, you've been told propaganda. Obama is wicked. I mean, wicked evil that you can't understand. See, he didn't understand. He came to first. Obama is wicked than wicked, evil personified, wicked. So, oh shit, please. We gotta get that out to the youth, and I gotta show you his record.
Right. Are you gonna go there?
Stop playing the music. You did every time. But we talking.
Yeah, you did.
You put a Joby on us. You put a Joby on us every time. You put a Joby on us.
No, I'm sorry.
Before the man got to do his final remarks, you put a despicable Joby on us every time. You didn't get to finish the music.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Mr. Erickson, are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. That's what's up.
I'll
buy you KFC after the run. I'll buy you.
Exactly. I think he'll be there. Big Obama to broker some fake peace. Understand, Obama is the enemy family. Exactly, Jibber Jab. They bring this no good handkerchief head bastard in to broker the peace. Let me tell you some things you guys don't know about Obama. This is real thing. I'm gonna keep what we need. Okay, break your heart. I'm hurt your feelings. Obama was a crackhead. It's a fact because he's rich, right? Smoking crack and getting his dick sucked by white men. These are facts. Okay. So you guys don't know none of this. I'm blowing your mind. So when that was exposed, those white men were murdered. They were, let's say they were disappeared unalive when they were telling those stories, right? They were unalive. Oh, go ahead, guys. So I got to answer this call. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Erickson, you're saying that you're going to be there tomorrow. And I know you're saying about the KFC. I saw that video. But I believe the fact that the Gen Z basically can afford all these things and they're still fighting for the people. That's a good thing. Though they're going to Uber, they're going to go to KFC, they have iPhone, and they're still fighting for this thing to be rejected. It means
it's not a class fight. It is not a class fight. They're trying to make it a class fight, but it's not a class fight. This is a generational fight. Yeah.
It is. But hopefully we're gonna have you here on Wednesday. Is there a protest on Wednesday?
No, Tuesday is the mother of all protests because that's when the third reading, and I bet it will pass in Parliament, and we want to be there. We want to be there to say no to it. We want to pile the pressure. Let them feel the pressure. Let them hide their cars in Parliament. Yeah. Overton, can you hear me?
Closing remarks as we wind up. Alrighty, guys, that has been it on Let's Pop with Iraton. It's been a good conversation with breaking down the financial bill with Mr. Erickson Otiambo and Mr. Black Hot Fire basically joined us today. But we're gonna do this again on Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us today on Let's Pop with Iraton. Remember, you are the change you need to see in the world. See you Tuesday in regards to this conversation. Remember, you matter. It's always about redefining Africans as we redefine ourselves. Take care.
Nobody matter. Yes, massive wagwan. After all this, Jamaican brother they are reaching out to all the massive on the African continent. Every Tuesday.